If you go down to this traditional area of St. Patrick's, you might be in for a big surprise. For in this secluded inlet, some of the best music in Grenada is produced. We are in Pointsfield, and on this week's Hitmakers, we're here to speak to Paul Denzel Thomas of Mount Zion Studio. Paul, welcome to Hitmakers.
Yeah, thank you, man. It's a good opportunity to be here.
Well, obviously, you know, we're here to find out some more about your recording studio. Apart from you being an artist, you've worked with lots of different calypsonians and reggae artists. Mount Zion, that's the name of your studio.
Yeah, that's the name, surely.
Right. How did Mount Zion come about?
Well, Mount Zion came about originally because the studio was located in Hermitage. That's the most upper part. Almost, if you know where Peg Swim is, it was just the last little village just before Peg Swim, so it's way up at the top of Hermitage. So the whole idea of Mount Zion to the mountain top came out really.
So there was nothing religious about it?
No, later on a bit of religious ideas came in, but originally it was just because of the location. Mount Zion is known from far right now, even from New York, because I work for people from New York, England, Belize, Trinidad, you know. I've even had guys from Jamaica when they come here to have show. They come here to do dub plates for some of the DJs. So Mount Zion is widely known right now.
You've always played instruments?
Always played.
Yeah, what's your main instrument?
I played guitar since at the age of 12. Then about 14, 15 I started keyboard. I also played clarinet. I made a slight move to the sax, but I didn't continue. So I major in guitar and keyboard right now.
Right, so that is your two main instruments.
Basically right now.
Right. Is it very helpful for you then when people come to you to do work that you have, apart from having an idea of what they want to do, you actually know the sort of musical contents you're going to use?
Very much helpful. I think that's why everybody come by me too, because everybody want guitar. If you know, today's music is basically with the computer and programming, so everybody want guitar and live bass, even though we don't do much live bass in the studio this time, but the actual talent of playing the instrument itself is a great contribution to the art.
Denzel is a musician. Besides the fact that he knows about the computer, he's a musician. And this is the head start that he has. You know, he's a musician like Jamu is a musician, like Brian Host is a musician. A lot of the arrangers are more into so they give you music, but the music is not real music. But he, you know, when you get music, is the music. You see all these guitars here, he plays his live bass, he does all these sort of things, you know, he's a musician.
So why did you make the transition from playing into the production side?
Well, since I began playing guitar, I began composing my own little songs, you know, since at the age of 12. So whenever I find free time in the studio, I use that time to make a song for myself.
You started when, in 1998?
Yeah, I started my studio in 1998.
Any help?
Well, the inspiration came from Peter Roddick's. As a matter of fact, I should say that Peter Roddick's and Chiney Duncan was the two initial person in me getting into studio. I went to Dix to do work for many guys, and I felt I should have my own because, you know, Hermitage to Grenada was far. I was still at school in SAS that time, you know. So I thought I should have my own, and I started left school and I began working. I went to the bank for finance and I did my own at Hermitage. And Dix himself called me and said, oh, he heard that song from Lady Empress and that was good work, you know. And I felt happy when he called me to say that, you know, knowing that I started by him, you know. So I have a great love for music, you know, because music is a natural thing. It's a natural thing, it's a spiritual thing, it's God-given. Apart from that, I think there was a need, you know. When I learned about recording studio in Grenada, when you hear about Don Charles with Mars International, and then you heard about Najamu, and then they gradually phased out, you know. So I think me coming in there was a plus, you know.
Do you see yourself as an innovator when it came to engineering, making the sound, or when people came, you just went along with what they had?
As an innovator, when it comes to the engineering, the engineering work is always a difficult work. I remember the first thing I ever mixed, I put it on a cassette and I went upstairs in the house to listen to it. It was ridiculous. So I called Jamu, I called Trevor, and Jamu said to me, he said, watch man, that mixing thing is not no fly-by-night thing, you know. Go and try again until you get it right. You know, the answer was kind of hard, you know. I took it kind of hard. So I called Trevor. Trevor said, watch man, listen to the thing as if you're listening to a radio. Just pretend that you listen to music on a radio. I did that, you know. That worked, but as I went on, I realized there was much more than that, even much more than that.
So how did you develop yourself to the stage that you are now?
I developed by, I read, I did a few courses online. I traveled, I bought plane ticket, I went to New York, I went to several studios in Manhattan, you know. I visited studio in Trinidad, and just seeking knowledge, you know, asking questions.
So when people actually came to you, I mean, how long afterwards that you opened your studio that you had your first client?
People came to me right as I opened my studio.
But was that because the way where you were situated? Because for those people who don't know where you are, I mean, it's rather rustic and scenic here,
Yeah.
and peaceful, where you are now. Was it the same way when you were up in Hermitage when Mount Zion started?
Yeah, well, it's slightly different now. I mean, there's a bigger flow of people around now, and in Hermitage people used to complain about the distance too, and about the place was difficult to find. You know? So even when I moved to my new place, the studio was in one of the bedrooms in my house until I built a proper one downstairs.
Just to do some name dropping, you said just now that you started with Lady Empress.
Yeah, that was the first big hit.
Mm-hmm. Which one?
That was a song called Bend Over. I remember very well. Yeah.
He helped me initially because I knew how to write. I had a talent, and it was raw talent. I didn't know what to do with it. I didn't know. I fool around with a guitar, but I didn't write songs with an instrument. I wrote my songs out of inspiration. So when I came here to Denzel, I came with a song in my head. I would la la or whatever I hear in my head, and he would actually find a way to put it down. The first song I did, I think it was 1999, and it helped me remember is God Bless Grenada, 1999, and Bend Over, Bend Over, Bend Over.
If you didn't have a hit early, you would have continued with the whole idea for Mount Zion?
Yes, I would have continued definitely. Even if I didn't have clients coming by, I would have been doing my own thing. I would have been functioning.
More of an artist than as a producer?
Yeah, I would have been functioning. One of the main drawbacks now for me being a prominent artist is that I want to function with an independent band. I want to function with my own band. And I'm in the process of building that band right now, so I should be off-road by March, April.
Does that mean we would not hear much of Mount Zion?
Yeah, you'll be hearing much of Mount Zion still. But I mean, I would be more on the upfront now with my band doing some more performing. I mean, I've got thousands of songs now, over 60 songs recorded, and maybe over another 20-something that's not recorded. So I think I need to be out there now. I mean, I've been putting people out there, so I think it's fair for me to be there too, you know.
Start a new life all over, make no mistake, no blunders, watching every move I make.